Postcolonialism literary theory. Influenced by the poststructuralist and postmodern idea of decentering, postcolonial literary criticism undermines the universalist claims of literature, identifies colonial sympathies in the canon, and replaces the colonial metanarratives with counter-narratives of resistance, by rewriting history and asserting cultural identities through strategies such as separatism, nativism, cultural syncretism, hybridity, mimicry, active participation and assimilation. Key concepts in postcolonialism. Othering. Othering involves two concepts, the exotic other and the demonic other. The exotic other represents a fascination with the inherent dignity and beauty of the primitive, undeveloped other, as delineated in Yeats's Byzantium poems, while the demonic other is represented as inferior, negative, savage and evil as is described in novels like Heart of Darkness and A Passage to India. Diaspora. Diaspora refers to people who have been displaced or dispersed from their homelands, and who possess and share a collective memory and myth, and the nostalgic reminiscence of home. Diasporic theorists such as Avtar Bra and Robin Cohen propose the idea of a home as a mythic one, a place of desire in the diasporic imagination, a place to which there can be no return, despite the possibilities of visiting the place that is seen as the place of origin. Hybridity, syncretism. The schizophrenic state of the migrant is he attempts to combine the culture of origin with that of the host country, without abandoning either is called hybridity, or syncretism. This leads to the emergence of new identities where the original identity, historical experiences and memories are not abandoned but is constructively merged with the host culture, to move beyond the constructed limits of both, forging solidarities against essential racial oppression. Double consciousness. Dubois described double consciousness as two souls, two thoughts, in one dark body, which Mina Alexander later altered as many souls, many thoughts, in one dark body, pointing to the migrant's experience in multiple subject positions, a recurrent theme in the writings of Ben Okri, Amitav Ghosh, Derek Walcott, Salman Rushdie, Carol Phillips and others. Subaltern. Subaltern is a term introduced by Antonio Gramsci to refer to the working class, and used and popularized by Gayatri Spivak in the postcolonial context, in Can the Subaltern Speak? In this essay, Spivak raises issues about the voice of the subaltern in rebellion against the colonizer, and the authenticity of the voice of the subaltern, whether he speaks or is spoken for. Thus Spivak ridicules the hypocrisy of postcolonial discourses that claim to raise the voices of hitherto unheard, while they inadvertently serve to perpetuate the marginality and the subalternity of the oppressed. Mimicry. Mimicry demonstrates an ambivalent relationship between the colonizer and the colonized. The colonized subject mimics the colonizer by adopting the colonizer's cultural habits, language, attire, values etc. In doing so, he mocks and parodies the colonizer. History. The postcolonial obsession with history, closely linked with the overarching goal of decolonization, addresses issues such as 1. Interrogating the effects of colonialism, 2. The anti-colonial struggles of the Third World and the rise of nationalism, 3. The creation of mimic men in the colonial culture, 4. The appropriation of history by the colonial master, 5. Attempts to retrieve and rewrite their own histories by the formerly colonized cultures, and 6. Modes of representations. Nation. The postcolonial writers are conscious of their role in nation building. In postcolonial literature, the nation-building project seeks to erase the colonial past by rejecting and resisting the Western constructions of the other as primitive, savage, demonic etc. and by seeking to retrieve a pre-colonial past that would help them redefine a nation and project a destiny and future. Race. According to Michael Banton, race is a concept that has been the basis of discrimination and disempowerment. Race has become a central category in social, political and cultural theory. The race turn has also been instrumental in the development of cultural movements like Black Arts and Harlem Renaissance. Gender. Postcolonial gender discourse discusses the double colonization of women by both imperialism and patriarchy. In postcolonial literature, gender and sexuality have become prominent themes in the last decades of the 20th century. Gender and the role of women in the postcolonial countries have been the focus in the writings of Anita Dessa and others. Postcolonial gender studies examine how class, caste, economy, political empowerment and literacy have contributed to the condition of women in the Third World countries. Black feminism. The domination of the black male in the civil rights movement and the white woman in the feminist propaganda necessitated the emergence of black feminism, detailing the inextricable connection between sexism and racism. Alice Walker's Identity Politics discusses the marginalized, intersectional plight of the black women. The CRC questions conventional social hierarchy with the white man at the center and began creating theory which spoke of the combination of problems, sexism, racism etc. that they had been battling. Neocolonialism. Neocolonialism refers to the continuing economic dominance and exploitation of the politically free Third World countries by the European imperial powers. Neocolonialism is most often achieved not merely through state control by Euro-American powers, but by a nexus between politicians, bankers, generals, and the chief executive officers. International aid and developmental initiatives are very often aligned with economic policy diktats that disable Third World economies. Neocolonialism, therefore, is a more dangerous form of colonialism.